Good morning everyone. I myself Dharamveer Singh welcomes you on the behalf of J. Somnath English Medium School. Students, today we are going to learn Standard 8 English, a beautiful chapter that is glimpses of the past. What do you mean by the word glimpses? Glimpses means anything which we are not going in the deep, but only just we are been referring it, only for a short we are going it through it, just a minute information we are getting. Students, you might have seen the comic book. In the comic book, how the characters of the comics are been there, on the top a bubbles or a rectangular or a square shape is drawn, and inside there is something written that what the character wants to say. Here in this chapter there are the small glimpses. Glimpses means a short view of a freedom struggle of our India, that how the Hindus and Muslim they all joined together, what the India was been facing at the time when was India under the rule of Britishers, and what's the situation was there, how did our country achieve the freedom. That such some of the glimpses are there in this chapter that we are going to learn. Now here are some pictorial glimpses of the history of our country from 1757 to 1857. This picture are called speech bubbles. So whatever in the comic book also or even in the newspaper, you see some of the cartoons are being drawn, on the top of that some of the bubbles are drawn. Such kind of bubbles or a rectangular or square shapes are known as speech bubbles. Will help clarify your understanding of the condition that lead to the event known as the First World War of Independence in 1857. So all the incident from 1757 to 1857, all some of the glimpses means some part are been mentioned, which are been providing us the whole view of a particular situation. Now the first is about the martyrs. Martyrs are the person who have sacrificed their life for our mother India. Now here at the function at Delhi, now the first glimpse is about it is a place in Delhi where all the leaders and various peoples has gathered. Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears and you recall the sacrifice of Indian martyrs. Now here there is one lady standing who is Lata Mangeshkar, and she is singing of the song that "Ye mere watan ke logo." In that one it is written at "Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears and you will recall the sacrifice of the Indian martyr." So she is singing a song which has been creating the spirit on all the Indians to respect our martyrs who have sacrificed their life. Now second glimpse, it is about the company's conquest from 1757 to 1849. Conquest means it is an area of a land that has been taken up in the war. Now the company, here the company means the East India Company, means the Britishers who have entered in our country. They have formed, first of all they have just come in India as a trader, but later on because of their wiseness and because of the Indian kings fighting among each other, they took the benefit of it and they have ruled over the India. Now the second glimpse is about the company's conquest. So with the superior weapons, superior means wiser. So as the East India Company were having the guns and they were having a superior weapons, the British East India Company was extending its power in 18th century in India. Now we can look here in the map of India. Here which the red line is there, only this much part of India was under the rule of Britishers, but slowly and steady because of the wiseness of the Britishers, they have expanded their rule in all the parts of India. So now Indian princes were short-sighted. Short-sighted means as soon as they were being looked and arrested and even they were killed. That upstart Rajas call the English merchant, they will help to defeat them. Now as we all know that our Indian kings, they were only fighting among themselves only, so the Britishers took the advantage of it and they used to help the weaker king, and they used to help the weaker king by providing them the amenities, the soldiers, and they just wanted to acquire the whole part. So they used to keep on helping the kings to fight among themselves and take the benefit of it. The rivalries helped the East India Company. Rivalries means the competitors. As I told you before that the kings were only fighting among each other. So they were the rivals. They just wanted that the other king should get demoralized or he should be defeated at any cost. So they did not think that what the Britishers want, what was their motto, but their thinking was that Britishers are their friend and they are helping them in the war. The rivalries helped the East India Company and it could easily be subdue Indian princes one by one. Now the Indian prince, the East India Company, they started by taking the benefit of these rivalries of the Indian prince, and they started demoralizing the prince one by one. A far-seeing ruler like the brave Tipu of Mysore fought the British till he died fighting. Now the Tipu Sultan, he is known as the Sultan of Mysore. He fought with the Britishers till he died, but in the war he was dead. Thank God there is peace in the country now and no more wars, no looting by thugs. Now some of the Indian prince and the Indian people, they were showing the positive attitudes toward the Britishers, because they were thinking that now as the Britishers are there, so there is no war, there is no looting by the king, means the king used to impose the heavy taxes, so now they were completely free from it. So some people used to take it as a positive way. So thank God there is no peace, there is peace in the country now, no more wars, no looting by thugs. It's the God who sent the British. Our destiny is linked with them. Now some people they were greatly thankful to the Lord Almighty that they have sent the Britishers to the country, because some prince, they were enjoying the powers and there were no wars now. But on the other side, what was the condition of the poor people? So they were thinking, the white man has killed and dethroned our king. Now, the poor people, they were having a great liking for the king, because the king was always there when they were having up the problem. So when the king was being killed, so the poor people, they used to consider the Englishman as the enemy, because they had killed their king. Some kings were not good, but after all, they were of this land. Now the people, even though the king used to impose the heavy taxes on them, on the poor people, on the farmers, but the people used to believe that they are only our king because they belongs to our land. Now we have become the slave of foreigners. Now some people used to think that now the Britishers has acquired the power and we have become the slave. Slave means the servant of the foreigners. Now the third glimpse is of the British rule. Now when the British rule was being extended, now what all the difficulties and what the situation was there among the Hindus and Muslims. Now religious leader preached the ideas like untouchability and child marriages. Now slowly and steady the condition of the Indians were not good. The evil practices of the untouchability. Untouchability means a practice where some of the people were kept at distance. Now we all know that the majority of the part of the India was having a Hindu religion. So that time the caste system was more and more flourished. The upper people, the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, they used to enjoy the power, whereas the Harijans, they were being considered as untouchable people, means they were kept at a very far distance. So this practice, evil practice like untouchability, child marriages, they were practiced more and more. Anyone who crosses the sea loses his religion. Even the great leaders, they used to teach the people that any of the person who is been going out of India, they also were not to be considered to be a person who belongs to India. All the miseries in the world is due to women. Now some of the religious teachers, they used to believe the woman as who has weakened the power of India. So their different thinkings were there among the religious teacher, and they used to preach them. And because of this thing, the condition of the Hindus was very deteriorating. The truth was that India has lost self-respect. The British scorned them. But the main thing was that now the Indians have completely lost their self-respect, because inside the Indians only, even the Indians used to fight among themselves. Some used to treat the people as untouchable. The evil practices like child marriages and sati pratha, this was going on. So now the Indians have themselves only, they have lost their self-respect. The natives are unworthy of trust, incapable of honesty. True, you are honest, but I am honest. Now the people, in order to become the honest person for the Britishers, they used to go at do any such situation, because they wanted to prove the Britishers that we are the honest person for them. Being merchant, the British wanted quick profit. Their heavy taxes forced farmers to abandon their land. Now the Britishers, as they have only came to India for a business, they wanted a huge profit, so they started imposing the heavy taxes on the farmer, so the farmers has to quit away the farming. But your men are taking all my crops, you are still in the areas, if you don't pay the next week, I will send you to jail. Now the Britishers were given the complete authority, and the Britishers used to impose the heavy taxes on the farmer. So even the small farm was being, agriculture was being grown, it was taken away by the Britishers, and the condition of the farmer was very weak. Still, the British invented other methods which gave them more profit. A good manufactured in England should not have any import duty when brought into India. A good idea, the East India Company's laws began to cripple Indian industries. Now, the condition, now Britishers wanted more and more profit. So, they started imposing more and more rule. So, they made up the rule that any goods which are brought from the British to India, there are no taxes to be paid. But if the Indian goods are being sent over there, they has to be imposed heavy taxes. So because of that, the Indian merchants and Indian industries were completely ruined. The British policy ruined the experts, artisans and their business. Now, because of this condition, the Indian merchants and the Indian industries, they were completely ruined and they were not in the condition to be worked out. Now, we are going to look further about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the great Indian revolutionary who have been fought against the various evil practices that are been going on in the Indian culture. So, how did he fight back? He has to fight up with his family also, but how did he acquire the position? So Rajaram Mohan Roy, 1772 to 1833. Rajaram Mohan Roy, a learned man from Bengal, understood what was wrong with the country. Now Rajaram Mohan Roy, he was not at all ready to accept the practice of sati system and the untouchability. He was from Bengal. He wanted to fight against it. So he was the first man who raised a voice against the sati pratha. Let us not despise ourselves. Our ancient culture is great and we are capable of the great achievement. We must first reform our society. Superstitious have been ruining us. Now Rajaram Mohan Roy, he said that our Vedas are most important because they teach us many things. The first and foremost thing, we must make aware the people about our Vedas and we must take the people away from the superstitious which are been killing our society. He told his wife Uma, cows are of different color, but the color of their milk is same. Different teachers have different opinion, but the essence of every religion is same. Now, he's been talking up to his wife Uma. He told that the cows are of different color, but the milk what the cow is providing is of white color. So there are different teachers. That time, many peoples of different community people used to live in India. They all have different opinion, but that meaning is completely same. Means the God is one. They just wanted to teach us that God is one, but the method of teaching is different. He was attracted by science and modern knowledge. Knowledge should be practical and scientific. So he used to believe that whatever the knowledge, he was a great learner. He was a great liking for the learning and he believed that the knowledge should be scientific and it should be practical. He crossed the seas and went to England to see what made the British powerful. There he told, we accept you as a ruler and you must accept us as a subject. But you must remember the responsibility a ruler owns his subject. So in order to get the knowledge that how the Britishers are so powerful, he went to England and there in England he told that we accept you as our ruler, but we accept ourselves as a subject, but it is your responsibility as a ruler to look the condition of the people who are under them. Now the fifth one is about the operation. Operation means how now all the Indian fighters, Indian martyrs, they wanted to make our motherland free from the British rule. So who all the great martyrs like Bhagat Singh, then Rajguru, Sukhdev and many more were there who fought, who sacrificed their life for the Mother India and wanted to make our Mother India free from the British rule. Now operation, it is from 1765 to 1835. Now, but the British continued to oppress Indians. In 1818, they have passed the Regulation 3rd under 8 and Indian could be jailed without a trial. Now, as slowly and steady the Indians, the freedom fighters, they were been awareing the people to make the Britishers away from India. So, the Britishers passed out the Regulation Act 3 in which they can arrest anyone without any trial and they can send them to the jail. All the time the British officers in India, drew a big salary and also made a fortunes in the private business. Now the Britishers, they were enjoying a great position because they were getting up the high salary from the East India Company, and even they were making up a huge profit from various private business. By 1829, Britain was exporting British gold worth of 7 crore rupees to India. Now about the amount of 7 crores of rupees of the goods from India were being sent up to the British, to the England. The British prospered on the company's load while Indian industries begins to die. Now the condition of the Indian industries were very bad position, and they were being completely closed up because of the various policies of the Britishers. Governor General Bentinck reported back home, the bones of the cotton weavers are bleaching the pains of India. The small artisans and the weavers, their condition was also very deteriorating because the Britishers used to purchase the good from them at a very low cost, and they used to sell up to the foreign countries at a very high cost. So looking at that thing, the conditions of the weaver were also very deteriorating. Now dissatisfaction, that is from 1835 to 56. Now the people, they started rising among themselves that now the East India's Company, the power of the East India Company should be ended. So they were now dissatisfied with the British rule. Education in India was Persian and in Sanskrit. In 1835, the Englishman named Macaulay suggested a change. We should teach the natives through the English language. I agree. Now one of the British officer whose name was Macaulay, he gave one idea that why to bring the officers from the England. Why don't we make the Indians only as our servant by teaching them English, and we will be giving them less salary and we will be achieving a huge profit. So previously in India only the language was taught in Persian and Sanskrit, but they started to teach the Indians in English language. English education produced clerk with whom the British gave a pretty job under them. Incidentally, it also produced a new generations of intellectual. We must educate our brothers and try to improve their material condition. For that, we must convey our grievance to the British Parliament. Now many of the Indian revolutionaries, they were also accepting this thing because in order to, they used to believe that in order to fight with the Britishers, we should understand their language. So they started educating the many Indians into the English language. By 1856, the British had conquered the whole India. So we can look here in the map of India. Now, previously only few part was there, but now the majority of the part of the India was being covered under the British rule. Now they cared little about the need of Indians. Our king have become puppets, and we have lost our job and lands, and they are converting our brothers. You only talk, do something to drive them out. Now even among the common people, they were also completely fed up of the British rule because they were paid very less, and even the system of changing of the religion, they started changing the religions of the people, and so the condition of the people, that was very deteriorating, and they started raising up the voice against the British rule. Now seventh one is the spark. Spark means the lightning which gave the rose to the Indians to fight against the Britishers. Now the next one, the sparks. It is from 1855 to 1857. Now taxes continued to ruin the peasant in Bengal. The Santhals. Santhals means the person who is the owner of land, who had lost their land under new land rules, became desperate. In 1855, they rose a rebellion and massacred Europeans and supported alike. Now various Santhals who have lost their land under the new policies from the British rule, now they also started revolting against the Britishers. They raised a voice and they used to support the people who wanted to fight against the Britishers. Discontent was brewing in the East India Company arms too. Now even the armies, the Indian soldiers who were there in the British army, from them also there was something, discontent started growing among them. The white soldiers get a huge pay, mentioned to alive the insurgent, while we get a pittance and low promotion. Now Indian soldiers also, they started thinking that they came to know that the British soldiers were paid very high and they used to enjoy the more power as compared to them, and they were paid very less. Then Angrez asked us to cross the sea, which is against our religion. Who is this topi wala to abolish the age-old customs? Now the Indian soldiers used to believe, means whenever the war used to be there, the Indian soldiers only were to be sent to the foreign countries to fight on behalf of England. So they started realizing that who is this topi wala? Topi wala means who are these Britishers who send us to the foreign countries, because previously it was believed that the Indians who crossed the Indian boundaries where it was against the religion, so they used to raise a voice against them. Thousands of the other sepoy revolted. They were stripped into their uniform. Sepoy Mangal Pandey attacked the adjutant of his regiment and was executed. Now one of the Indian soldier who was Mangal Pandey, he started revolting. He was the first person who revolted against the Britishers, and he raised a voice against the British rule. Few Englishmen have cared to understand the Indian customs or the people's mind. Now the next policies of the Britishers was to divide the unity of the Hindus and Muslims. So what did they did? Oh proud Brahmin, they went to the Brahmin and they said, oh proud Brahmin soldiers, do you know that the grease on the bullet you have to buy is made from the fat of cow and pig? Now as we all know that Mangal Pandey started revolting, so other Indian soldiers also they started joining him. So the best thing the Britishers thought that we have to divide them. So they went to the Hindu soldiers and they told that the arms which they were been using, it were made up from the meat of the flesh of the cow and pig. So we all know that in Hindu, the cow is considered to be a holy animal. So it also created a angerness against the Britishers and the other religion. Now soon the chapatis were sent from the villages to tell the people that their emperor would want their services. Now the Indian various king who wanted to revolt against the Britishers, they started helping of the Indian revolutionary who were there in the jail. They used to send up their chapatis and various other food items, and they used to make sure the Indian revolutionary that whatever they think, the thing they have done against the Britishers, it won't be going in the vain, because the emperor is with them. So here comes the remaining part we will be doing in the next video. Welcome back students. Now we are going to learn the remaining glimpses of the past. Now about the revolt. As we have learned in the previous chapter, that one previous story, that how did the Indian emperor, they were be encouraging the Indian revolutionaries that we are with them, and they started making up a big group to fight against the Britishers. Now the revolt gets started. The first revolt was on in the year 1857. Then there was a violent outbreak at Meerut. The sepoy marched to Delhi. Long live our Emperor Bahadur Shah. Now the Indian revolutionary under the leadership of Emperor Bahadur Shah, they started revolting. The first revolt was there in Meerut. The rebellion spread wider. Many landlords has lost their land because of the British policies, and they were sure the white man's rule must end. Yes, we will help you. Now various other, the Emperor Bahadur Shah, they started joining up the various group, and they formed a big group, and they marched toward the Delhi saying that we have to end up the British rule and we have to make our Emperor Bahadur Shah as a king of India. Now the freedom fight, the fight for freedom, that is 1857, the last claim. It is that many former rulers like Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow was bidder. The white man had taken away the kingdom. Now Begum Hazrat Mahal, whose husband died, and because of that reason, she was being a lady, she was not been allowed to be rule his kingdom. So her kingdom was being taken away by the Britishers. So looking at that thing, she also started joining up the revolt. Popular leaders like Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faisalabad told the people, rise brother rise, the Angrez is ruining our land. Now various other, now Hindus and Muslims, they all have came together and they started encouraging the people to join the revolt and make the people aware that the Britishers should go away and we should make our country free. Azimullah Khan told Tatya Tope, we should have Peshwa Nana Sahib as our leader in the war of independence. The Petrois pounced upon the British and fought the pitch of battle all over the North India. Now various other rulers, they started joining about the revolt, and from the different part, different leaders were made. From the Marathas, the Nana Sahib was made the leader, and they started revolting against the British rule. 80 years old Kunwar Singh of Bihar received a bullet in his breast. Mother Ganga, this is my last offering to you. Now, an old man of 80 years, a warrior whose name was Kunwar Singh of Bihar, he was been dead in the war by getting up a bullet shoot in his chest, and he told, oh Mother Ganga, this is my last war, I am offering it to you. So these are the various claims, and how did our freedom fighters, they fought for our nation and made our mother country free.